I'm sorry, George. George does this. I heard like, dude, well, don't do that.
What are you having to do in your daily life where you're having to jerk your arm backwards?
I think the thing is you don't understand what
Yeah.
CrossFit is. You see
Uh-huh.
what they're doing, like what kind of pull up is that?
Yeah,
Until you realize, okay, that requires a lot of
it does.
coordination,
Yeah.
a lot of coordination, a lot of strength, and that's what I love about coaching. That you see, I guess, like I don't know, to call them protege or client or member, teammate, whatever you want to call them, but you see them reaching their goals. Hey everyone, thank you guys for joining us. This is Coach Mondo from Deepwater CrossFit, and with me I have Nicole. Nicole does kinesthetic sports recovery. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Nicole.
Yeah, my name's Nicole. I am a certified athletic trainer, and I'm also the owner of Kinesthetic Sports Recovery.
Awesome, thank you, Nicole. I myself, as I mentioned before, I'm the owner of Deepwater CrossFit. I've been doing CrossFit for about maybe 4 or 5 years. Decided I just fell in love with it, and I basically just want to spread fitness. I knew this was something lifelong, not something like I've done before. Something in terms of like strength, like strongman, powerlifting. Although those are, it's working out, it's good for you. It's not something you can lift heavy, heavy, heavy all the time. You still need some cardio, you still need some flexibility, some mobility. And that's where I just fell in love with CrossFit. Because CrossFit does focus on, yes, lifting weights, some gymnastics, I guess aerobic capacity, you could call it cardio as well, mobility. You do gain a lot of flexibility in CrossFit as well.
Yeah.
And I just knew, what, CrossFit's the one to go.
Who introduced you to CrossFit? Because I know you said we were talking before, and you said that you went from, was it strongman into CrossFit, or did you have something in between? You did BJJ for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
What's your background in fitness, and like how did you get into CrossFit?
So fitness started in martial arts. I was like in Taekwondo since I was like 7.
Yes, I remember that
Yeah,
actually.
right. Yeah, I have a
Yes.
bunch of pictures too. I
Yeah,
just found
medals and
yeah,
stuff.
I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
found a
yeah.
bunch of pictures recently. Me of a little taquache.
Yes. Okay,
Yeah.
we've known each other for a long time.
Yes.
We've known each other for about 10 years, I want to say.
12, because I was
12.
18. I'm 30
Okay.
now.
Okay,
So a
okay.
little bit
Yeah,
over
yeah,
a
yeah.
decade.
Yeah,
Uh,
we've known each other for quite some time. Yeah.
so then, let's see. So I started, not working out, but I guess I started activity, physical activity in Taekwondo when I was around 6 or 7 in Fort Worth. We moved over here. I'm sorry, I did Kempo over there, Kempo Karate. Moved over here. My mom just put me in Taekwondo with Master An. I'm sure some of you local guys know who Master An is, the local legend. And I just stuck out with him till when I was about 18. Went through all the belts, got my black belt, and then I got into wrestling in high school at Nicky Rowe. And I remember the first like off season, they Coach Madsen put us in the weight room,
Oh, yeah.
and everyone's working out, and it's my turn to get on the bench. I remember unracking the bench, the barbell, and just whoop, that's it. It just crushes me. And I was like,
You were a really
I was
skinny
I was
kid.
very skinny.
You
Yes,
were a very small
I
kid.
was same height. I'm like
Yeah.
5'8", 5'9" right now, same height, but weighing about. I wrestled at 112,
Yeah. Oh
112.
my goodness. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
because when I met you, you said you were a freshman in college, right? So you had just graduated, you had just finished your wrestling kind of like aspect of your life,
Yeah.
or like you had just like you were into wrestling
I was
at
into
that
wrestling.
time.
Yeah,
So like you were at that skinny kind of like
I was
frame.
very skinny. Yeah,
Wrestling
I
frame,
think
yeah.
I graduated high school like around 135. I remember because I wanted to be in MMA, and I like martial arts was like everything I wanted to do. So I was doing Muay Thai, Jiu Jitsu. I was taking my wrestling into my Jiu Jitsu, and I really wanted to do mixed martial arts. So I continued after high school into college, and I think that's where I met you.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then after that, well, I need to bulk up. I was skinny. I needed to work out. Did a bunch of calisthenics. Obviously, I looked up to Bruce Lee. I wanted to be fit like Bruce Lee. I saw Bruce Lee would do dumbbell curls, pull ups, chin ups. I'm like, I'm gonna do that. Bunch of lunges, squats. Start working out, and eventually, I really don't know who introduced me to strongman,
No. Okay.
because that'll just tie into CrossFit, because it was
Mm-hmm.
strongman with Gabriel
Yeah.
Pena, um, and I just stuck with Gabe. And we're just working out in like his garage
Mm-hmm.
with whatever strongman equipment we had. Let's say it was like a farmer's carry, like you have a weight on each hand, um, and you basically just walk. It just grip and walk as heavy as you can, as far as you can. We didn't have that.
Mm-hmm.
We used a giant tractor tire and the trampoline poles. So like where the trampoline sits, like the
Okay.
actual
Yeah. Yeah.
legs of a trampoline.
Mm-hmm.
We had those poles into the tractor
Oh, like to
tire.
hold it.
Yeah, and to hold
Uh-huh.
it, and we would just walk. And that was our farmer's training. It was super makeshift, but it got the work done.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, we went from his garage. He had an opportunity to rent, like the backspace of AlphaFit.
Yes. So that's where I started my CrossFit journey. But yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead. Go
and
ahead.
AlphaFit. Did you ever like work out with Serge?
I did. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He when I joined AlphaFit, I think it had just been open for a
Hmm.
few months because I lived down the street, and
Yeah.
I don't even know how I got into that gym. Like
It just
I
appeared, and that was it.
I have this thing where like I like looking around whenever like I'm like driving, and I like seeing like, hey, what businesses are here, and like
Yeah.
kind of like looking them up, and so I think that's what I did. I think I just saw it, looked it
And
up,
that was it.
and I was like, let's join a gym, let's do something.
Yeah,
And
something
then
different. Yeah.
yeah, and then I didn't even know there was CrossFit games. Like I knew nothing about CrossFit. I just
Neither did I.
it's a workout, it's a class workout. I don't have time to do like anything else. Let me just get in, get out,
Yeah.
and then that was that. So yeah, I worked out at Surge. Yeah.
Yeah. So very similar. I didn't know what CrossFit was. I actually did know a little bit what CrossFit was, but I didn't really know exactly what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I was one of those people who made fun of CrossFit. You remember
See, I
that?
kind of did too,
You
though.
know what I mean?
A lot of us
You
did
make
because
you
we
make
didn't
fun of
understand
CrossFit.
it.
Yeah,
We didn't
yeah.
understand it.
I think the thing is you don't understand what
Yeah.
CrossFit is. You see
Uh-huh.
what they're doing, like what kind of pull up is that?
Yeah,
Until you realize, okay, that requires a lot of
it does.
coordination,
Yeah.
a lot of coordination, and a lot of strength to do those kind of
Mm-hmm.
butterfly pull ups. And then like, oh, they're not even that strong. Well, yeah, we're not strength athletes.
Yeah.
We're not gymnasts. We're not strength athletes. We're not the best at anything,
Mm-hmm.
but we're pretty good at a lot of
Yeah.
things. So I think that's what people make fun of it as well. Oh, you're not strong. Well, that's your deadlift. Well, I'm deadlifting this much. Well, that's how much you bench, or that's how fast you run. Well, yeah, man. We're also concentrating on gymnastics,
Yeah,
on
there's
the
like what, like
Olympic
10
lifts.
different components? There's 10
Yes.
different components to CrossFit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like we're working on a lot of stuff, man. Can
Mm-hmm.
you handstand walk?
Yeah.
No. Can you do a handstand push-up? No.
Yeah.
Well, all you're doing is concentrating on squat, bench, deadlift.
Yeah.
Of course, you're gonna be good.
And then you
You know?
like let's say a bodybuilder, you're really strong, but do you have flexibility?
Yeah. Are you flexible?
Yeah.
Can you
Do you have speed? Do you have agility?
can you
There's a
run a
lot of different
mile?
things. Yeah.
Can you run a mile without like
Endurance. Yeah.
taking without walking? And that was me. I didn't understand what CrossFit was.
Yeah.
I made fun of it myself. But like I said, with Gabe, we were renting out a back room with Gabe.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing strongman stuff in that back room. And then, I would see from time to time with Sergio. He was like coaching class.
Yeah.
And the classes look bumping.
Yeah.
They're massive classes.
What year was that actually? Do you remember?
I was probably like 20.
Okay.
So that was, I don't know, 2013,
Yeah, yeah.
2014.
Okay, because I was only in the gym for I don't think even a year, and I was a broke college kid. And
Yeah.
back then memberships were cheap.
Yeah.
Like they're like probably half the price compared to like what they are now. But even as a college kid, like I was like I can't really afford this,
Yeah.
so that's why I stopped going. But
Yeah.
I want to say it was probably 2012, 2013.
Yeah, I was right there, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy like how a lot of our like fitness has like overlapped a little bit.
A lot actually.
Because I was in wrestling too.
Mhm.
I was in wrestling for 2 years, and you're a class under me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I graduated, and I mean you were still in high school wrestling, and I only did 2 years though.
Mhm.
But then when I met you, yeah, we had that in common,
And that's how we met.
and then yeah. But
Yeah.
there was a time period where we kind of like our paths diverged a little bit, and like I hadn't seen you in a long time,
Yeah,
and then
you
somehow they crossed again, and
is
then
that when you left to Nacogdoches?
maybe,
Yeah,
yeah, I
because there was
think
a
towards
time.
the end of like college when I was graduating,
Yeah,
we weren't we
we were doing our own thing.
yeah, we were doing our own
Yeah, yeah,
thing, and then uh why I was in CrossFit, not knowing that you were getting into CrossFit, right?
yeah.
At the same time, that's really cool.
I know, right?
And then I came back, and then we, kind of started hanging out again. And then you were talking about like opening the gym. Yeah.
Yes.
Uh huh.
Yeah, it was. I think it was a very lucky coincidence. You know.
Yeah.
Um. So yeah, I was with Gabe in the back room. And I would see like CrossFit, like in the other room. Every once in a while, F it, I'm gonna join in.
Okay.
So Serge would let me drop in, and I would just kind of do whatever workout they were doing.
Mhm.
And then, but it did not interest me. Running did not interest me. This push-ups and pull-ups did not interest me. I wanted to lift weights. I wanted to lift
Yeah.
heavy.
Mhm.
So just completely ignored CrossFit. Stayed with strongman, and as we spoke before starting this podcast, I focused everything into strongman. And for me, World's Strongest Man was my Everest.
Mhm.
I went to World's Strongest Man. I competed. I hurt myself, but I still competed. Finished it. I finished 16th in the world, and I feel that was like my Everest. And basically, what do you do after Everest? You know, I lost all motivation for it,
Yeah.
and from there, I was like, well, let me get into CrossFit. And then I looked more into it. I did it more often, and I realized, damn, there's a lot of stuff to work on here.
Mhm.
The endurance aspect, the gymnastics aspect, the snatch and clean and jerks. Not just that, now combine everything together.
Mhm.
Can you do a heavy bench press after running a 5K?
Yeah.
Just combining everything together,
Mhm.
and I just lit up the switch again. Oh, I need this. I need this in my life. And that was it, really. I guess you could say Gabriel and Serge
Yeah.
introduced me to CrossFit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And you said you were just driving around.
Yeah, no,
And
I
I
was
was
just
like, oh,
driving
Alpha Fit,
around, and
fuck
I
it.
was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Well, let's check it out." And I was, like I said, I was in the gym for about a year. See, but I wasn't even familiar with a lot of the moves because I don't know if Serge. I think Serge probably did his own programming. I'm not too sure. Um, but our classes were pretty short because, or like the WODs were pretty short, and I don't think we even used the term WOD. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I mean, we probably did, right? But we would warm up, we would do like a mobility kind of session, and then we'd get into like lifting. So I remember doing like different cardio things like box jumps, burpees. We did like push press, deadlift. I don't think I ever did any cleans though.
Yeah.
Maybe it just wasn't on the days that I went.
Yeah.
Never did any cleans, never did any snatches. Never had to do like long, endurance runs. We do like sled pushes.
Yeah.
And that's really all I remember from my time in CrossFit.
Were you in the back room? Like where it was where the rigs were?
No, we would. Oh, the
Well,
main room
yeah,
was
I mean, that's
there
what I
was
mean.
like
That's
there
the
was a
main
back
room.
room. Yeah, the main room had the rigs, and that's kind of where we would work out because the back room was more for like people who
Like
were
a
just
boot camp.
beginning in fitness. Yeah,
Yeah,
boot
yeah.
camp or just beginning in fitness. They'd have kind of sessions over there. And I actually got a friend to join CrossFit with me whenever I joined Alpha Fit.
Yeah.
He would join me. But I've always liked class style workouts. Like I
Yeah.
said, it's you get
It's a
in,
lot of
do your
energy.
work, and then you get out
Yeah.
because I don't have the time to be like writing things down and planning things, and that to me is more like it's more exhausting
You know
because
what?
like
And
I don't want to have to like worry about planning, and I know.
I'm the complete opposite. I,
Yeah.
I love to plan it. I love to program. I like to see it on paper.
But that's like I think the coach side of you,
Yeah,
right?
I
Because
think so. Yeah.
programming is different, right?
Yeah,
For
I like.
me, like going to the gym got exhausting because I was like, I'm focusing on school, because I was a college kid at the time,
Yeah.
and I just didn't want to worry about it. Worry
Yeah.
about okay, let me do a back day, and then let me do a leg day, and I also hate doing legs.
I hate doing legs. Yeah.
So I would kind of
I'm the
like
same way.
avoid doing that as much as I could. But yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, I love programming. I love, just writing out the whole program for like 3 months. This is not going to work.
Yeah.
That's not going to work. It's too much volume, or this is too
Yeah.
consistent. We're lacking this, and just scrap the whole thing
Mm-hmm.
and start from day one. I
And
just love that.
so, okay, so kind of backtracking a little bit.
Okay.
So when you got into CrossFit, you were still working with your dad, right?
Yeah.
Like, because you were working with your dad for like a long time
Hmm.
with McAllen Auto Sales.
Yeah.
And from there, you wanted to open the gym, right? So
Yes.
how was that transition? What made you really say, okay, you know what? I want to open a gym. I want to be, a businessman on
Yeah.
my own. Like, what made you want to do that?
I wanted to be my own man, really. You know, I didn't want to follow my dad's footsteps.
Mm-hmm.
My dad did really great with his life, with his business, and it grew really big. But that's not the footsteps I wanted to follow. I wanted my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he loved cars. He had a dealership. I never felt that way about cars the way he did. I'm like, I know a bunch about cars, but only because I worked with him for so long.
Mm-hmm.
A car makes a certain noise. Oh, it's this is what's wrong with it. The certain years, the makes, the models, how to change, how to fix parts. But that's just not what I want to do. I know a lot about it, but that's not what interests me. And I guess, I don't know, because I was pushed into like physical activity around 6 or 7 my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I had just loved it. I felt like I got to absorb several different things, from martial arts to strongman to CrossFit, combining like stuff, 5K runs, marathons, and Ironman.
Yeah, you got into
I
Ironman
had gone to
too.
Ironman. I
Yeah.
did an Ironman. Um, and I just feel I just loved it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and then I was like 26 or 20, no, I was probably 26 because I opened at 27. 26, I wanted to. You know what? I need to be my own man. I don't want to do this. I don't even like selling cars. I'm not a car salesman. I've done it. It's not what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I guess at 26, I was getting everything ready, the licenses, my L1, um, getting everything ready because by 27, September 7th, 2020, during the pandemic too, I opened doors. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you and Oscar
Yeah.
were my first two members. You and Oscar were
Mm-hmm.
my first two members in my very first class.
Yeah. I'm like
Yeah.
super into fitness
Hmm.
too, and like I don't know, like if you want to do something, like I'm gonna try and support you as
Yeah.
best as I can, right? So I feel like I've tried doing that for you as
Yeah.
much as I can, with supporting like your endeavors
Yeah.
in CrossFit and your fitness journeys.
Yeah. And just from there,
Yeah.
like, that took off. I'm
Mm-hmm.
surprised people came. It was the middle of the pandemic. No one wanted to share anything. But I think I opened up. This is my opinion. I feel I opened up in a time where people were just sick of being in.
Yeah.
People were sick of staying inside and they wanted to get out.
Yeah. Because at
Uh,
that point, that like some of the restrictions had already lifted, right?
yeah,
So you could go. I was already back at work,
yeah,
right? You could go. People were going back to work. Since I'm in healthcare, it's considered also an essential worker, but also working with athletics.
yeah,
Um, and gyms were allowed to open up again. And I mean, we had, certain restrictions. And luckily, in that kind of setting, like you have space to work in your own kind of space and bubble, right? As small as the gym
yeah.
was,
That's
it
what
was a really small
I'm.
gym.
That's what I'm laughing about because some of the restrictions on gyms were they had to have a 6 foot a space between,
Yeah.
and so when you go to the CrossFit gyms, you could still see the tape on the floor.
Yeah.
Where each gym had their maybe like a 4x6
Mm-hmm.
spot. And I guess COVID got over. They took out the tape, but you could still see where the tape was. But my gym was very much not like that. I never taped anything. If you don't want to be close to someone, we can always work outside. You know,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. We
yeah,
utilized a lot of the outdoor
yeah,
space.
because
Yeah.
it was such a small space. It was a
Mm-hmm.
thousand square feet, minus office and minus restroom,
Yeah.
and an extra little room in the back.
Mm-hmm.
So minus those three, I don't know, maybe it was 600 square feet. of actual space.
Yeah.
So it was very cramped, very little. I wasn't gonna do the little squares.
Yeah.
People who were coming to the gym were people who just wanted to work out.
Yeah. And we never had any issues. Like
I'm
ever.
very surprised we've never had any issues
Ever.
now.
I think people kind of knew, okay, if you're sick,
You're
stay
risking it,
home.
yeah.
Yeah, if you're sick, stay home. If you don't want to be out in public, don't be out in public.
Yep.
Back then it was a lot more, people were a lot more careful,
Yeah.
right? So we never had any issues. Plus, you're like outdoors, like
Yeah,
there's,
yeah.
you know,
And no one's forcing you to come to
yeah.
the gym, first
Hmm.
off. If you want to come to the gym, I mean, we were just there to work out. You want to wear a face mask, by all means.
Yeah.
I wasn't making it mandatory to people. But what was really tough for people, for those people at least, who would wear a face mask, it would get sweaty, and you were basically just waterboarding yourself.
Yeah.
Uh,
Because I've
so
had to go, I didn't have to, right? But I still wanted to go to the gym and like
yeah,
other gyms like TrueFit were requiring, masks.
face
And so
mask.
I was
Yeah,
running like on the treadmill with
with a
my
face
face mask,
mask.
full face mask, right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, that's the requirement.
No,
That's
it
what I'm
was
gonna do,
tough.
right?
It
Because
was
if I didn't
tough.
want to do it, then I wouldn't be there,
Yeah.
right? But I'm like, well, I need to work out. I need a mask because that's what the requirement is. So I'll wear a mask. And
Why don't you
I
just
mean,
run
I was
outside?
running like accountability. I lack a lot of accountability sometimes. Back then I did.
Yeah.
I'm better now,
Yeah.
but I lacked a lot of accountability. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That was good times, man. It was a
yeah,
good time.
yeah,
I know the pandemic was a horrible thing, but overall it was
yeah,
good for business. And honestly, I'm super grateful and thankful for everybody who trusted me
yeah.
in that small little gym. We did the best we could. We shared equipment, and somehow we went to 2.0,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a big upgrade.
Yeah.
We got more members.
It was more than double the space, right? Yeah.
Yeah, from 1,000 square feet to 3,600.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good times, man. And then from that, we moved here to 3.0,
Yeah.
which is about 6,000 square feet.
And what's also made you want to like keep expanding from like 2.0 to like 2.0? Is that still too like small for you, or you're just like, I want more space? Like what was the decision?
I think 2.0 was fine,
Mm-hmm.
but I wanted to leave the warehouse feel.
Okay.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I was sick of the warehouse feel, sick of like
Oh,
the
that's true because you're renting.
yeah,
You're still renting, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I came in luck to find this spot.
Mm-hmm.
I just met the right people at the right time that were looking to rent it. This spot was in the market for way too long, and I was like, well, man, I'm not looking, but if you give me this rent, then I'll take over. Okay, whatever, let's do it. Like, all right, let's do it. Yeah, and that was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Making moves.
I didn't really think he would take it
Uh-huh.
because I was not ready to outfit this whole spot.
I know.
That was a lot of equipment.
Yeah. I remember when you mentioned it, like I didn't even know you were. Yeah, I didn't think you were like looking.
I
It
wasn't.
just like fell on your lap.
It just fell on my
right?
lap,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was going to
Or
take the
like I was like,
opportunity.
oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, and I was going to take the opportunity because it wasn't going to happen again.
Mm-hmm.
So I just took the risk. I'm like, F it, let's do it. F it, open up another credit line. And yeah, I know outfit this place now.
Yeah.
Um, so then now here we are, 3.0.
Yeah. I know, and it's been. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. It's been it's come a long way.
Yes.
Come a very long
Yeah,
way
yeah.
from 1.0 to 3.0.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're in talks about pushing back that back wall, make it a little bit bigger.
Kind of expanding the space. Yeah, I remember you mentioned that as well.
We're undecided of either making like a separate room for for private groups, private clients, or just dropping the wall, just expanding the whole space.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's just kind of just cheap talk right now.
Yeah.
Nothing
yeah.
serious.
I mean, you're growing. You have 2 coaches now, right?
Third one
I mean, you're a
coming.
coach yourself.
Yeah,
So
I'm
you're
a
a coach.
coach.
You have two other coaches, right? What do you like about coaching, or what do you love about coaching? Like, what excites you?
I genuinely love seeing people get better.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think teachers get that same feeling. You know, they see someone struggling doing a math problem, and all of a sudden, oh, the kid understands it. And that's it, and he's just doing the math problem. Same thing here. I see someone struggling with their form, and then all of a sudden, I say a cue. You know, a cue is, heels down. I don't know, something like that. and all of a sudden it just clicks in their head, and their form just gets better,
Yeah.
just like that.
Something works.
And something clicks in their head, and they're doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
Or snatch. A lot of people struggle with the snatch.
Yes.
Again, I'll give them a cue. I'll give them a second cue, and they're just kind of struggling. Maybe they're struggling for like a week or two, and then again something clicks,
Mm-hmm.
and they're doing the snatch perfectly. I'm like, yes, yes, that's it. Or they'll come, they're coming consistently. They're eating good. They're coming consistently, and all of a sudden, I see them walk in and just, hey man, you've lost a lot of weight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like and like Javi from 5 a.m. Shout out Javi, good work, man.
Mm-hmm.
Javi, I was looking at him. I was like, God damn, Javi,
Mm-hmm.
like you've lost like 20 pounds. He's like, yeah, man, I've lost like 20, 25 pounds. I'm like, and he comes literally Monday to Friday,
Yeah.
5 a.m. That man is consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, like, he's cut out alcohol. He's been eating better. And that guy has seen some serious solid gains.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shout out Jen. I don't know what she's doing. Like I know she works out usually at 5 a.m. and
Yes.
I'm kind of inconsistent with coming at 6 a.m. or like in the afternoon. So I don't always see everybody, right? But I hadn't seen Jen in a long time and I saw her and she looks really good.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
She lost a lot of weight. Yeah.
she lost weight, but she also just like looks more confident. Like she just exudes like this like confidence that like
Yes.
I can tell like when I see her. Yeah, and that's always a cool part.
And that's what I love about coaching, that you see, I guess, like, I don't know, to call them protege or client or member, teammate, whatever you want to call them, but you see them reaching their goals.
Yeah.
And that excites me. Honestly, that excites me. Like, hey, that's awesome. You came to me, I don't know, a year ago that you wanted to weigh so much. Hey, man, we're a year into the future and you've reached that goal and more. Not only did you lose the weight, now you're stronger. Now you're doing stuff you didn't think you would ever do, like a handstand push-up. You never thought you were going to do that, and there you are doing it in workouts. Like, you've done a lot more. Like, you've learned a lot more skills. You lost the weight. You got a lot stronger. Man, you're on track. Whatever you're doing, stay on it, because you're on the wagon right there. But yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's
awesome.
awesome.
It,
That's
it
awesome.
really is. It's a really good feeling, and I like seeing the members really enjoy it because it's like fitness is it's a lifestyle, right? It's like it's good.
As cliche as it sounds.
It's good to have
Yeah.
goals like okay, I want to lose this amount of weight or whatever, but just having like you want to go for the long term goals. Honestly,
Yeah.
like fitness is like it's a lifestyle. It's a long term goal. It's not just about okay, what can I do, what can I be the best at now? It's okay, you have to look at it towards your future also. Okay, am I going to be able to,
Play with
get
my
out of
kids,
bed?
yeah.
Am I going to be able to get out of a chair? Am I going to, play with my grandkids? Not even just kids, but your grandkids.
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to play at your grandkids? And can you stand on your own if you fall on the floor? Can you get up on your
Yes.
own? That's a big thing. Like when you're, the older you get, the harder it is to just stand up. The harder it is to keep your balance. And like a lot of this works on balance as well. It's not just about, okay, let me just be as fit as I can be, which,
Yeah.
that's still a goal. That's an awesome goal to have, be as fit as you can be. But at some point there's a stop in that, right?
Yeah,
You're never
yeah.
going to be as fit as you can be, right?
No.
I'm fit as much, like I did a lot of wrestling, I did wrestling, I did tennis, and then years down the line, like 3-4 years later, I noticed I was stronger than I was in high school.
Yeah.
I wasn't as skinny, I was a little
Yeah.
bit thicker, but I was a lot stronger than I was in high school, right? So I would say I was more fit, even though I maybe looked a little bit leaner in high school. But everyone has their own goals, everyone
Yeah.
goes through different things.
Yeah, yeah, and piggyback writing off of that, I like that. You'll never be as fit as you can be. It's true because there's always something to improve on. If you look at CrossFit, gymnastics, weightlifting, and aerobic capacity, you can always run faster. You could always row faster.
Yeah.
You could always lift more. You could always do more pull-ups in one set. There's always a lot of things you can always get better at. I think that's what makes CrossFit kind of cool. It's never ending. You can
Yeah.
always be
There's
better.
always some improvement in something.
there's
And
always-
you know what I mean?
Let's say you're strong enough. You can do all the pull-ups you want, and you're fast enough. How's your flexibility? That takes a long time to get flexible as well. Can't touch your toes. Okay, that's a problem. Your lower back's hurting a lot. Well, maybe you got some tight muscles.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that's what makes CrossFit great. There's always something to improve on, and I think that's what makes CrossFit lifelong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even from someone from beginner to someone really advanced, someone young to very old. There's a lot of several progressions.
Yeah.
You can't do a handstand push-up. Okay, we'll modify it. But we're still working our shoulders. We're still
Mm-hmm.
working our triceps. Let's say we can't do the modification. You know what? Let's do push-ups. Regular push-ups. Oh, well, my shoulder hurts. I can't do regular push-ups. Let's do something else.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always a modification, and that's what
Yeah.
makes CrossFit lifelong. Because obviously the older we get, we're obviously not as
Yeah.
long
The
as young
harder
anymore.
things, some
Yeah.
things can be, right? You can still be, able to do a lot of things that maybe someone your age can't, as like someone who's, let's say, 65, 70 years old.
Yeah, I have
Um,
some older members.
yeah.
Like my dad, for example, he comes to CrossFit here at Deepwater, and then him and my mom, they both do CrossFit here at Deepwater,
Mm-hmm.
and they go to Monterrey, every once in a while to visit family, and they'll explore Mexico, and they see the difference of them. They're climbing Chipinque. It's a little mountain you can hike up, and uh, my relatives just cannot.
They can't
They
keep up.
cannot keep up, man. They are
Mm-hmm.
struggling to just climb up the
Yeah.
hills. It's not even stairs; it's just a steep hill. That's it.
Mm-hmm. And that's where not being like focused on, I wouldn't even say fitness, but like you're just focusing on, can you do normal activities of daily living,
That's it. Independent
right?
living.
Can you hike if you want to?
Hmm.
Can you, yeah, independent living. Can you live on your own at an older age and
Yeah.
not have to worry about, something happening because you're not able to do something, right? You can't get inside, a bathtub, or
Yeah.
it's hard to do, even like dressing yourself or reaching down and like tying your own shoe.
I had a private client
Yeah.
who would literally struggle to get up from their couch.
Mm-hmm.
She's not old. She's maybe 50, 55 at the latest. But you know what? Fitness was never a thing for her. That she would literally, she was telling me that's why she came to me, that she would struggle to get off the couch,
Mm-hmm.
struggle to get off the toilet. She just couldn't. She just didn't have the leg strength. And well, she came with me. She worked with me for a while, and that was it. Now she doesn't have to lean on
Yeah.
something to get
Mm-hmm.
up. Now she can just do an air squat
Mm-hmm.
going up.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. The older you get, you gotta maintain that. What we were talking about, independent living. You start ignoring that. You start focusing too much on work or too much on one thing, and you forget your own personal health,
Mm-hmm.
and then you really start to decline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Less doctor's visits, less relying
Yes.
on medications. You can work on like lowering your own blood pressure, through fitness. And yeah.
That leads me to something. You're gonna pay.
Yeah.
You're gonna pay for a gym membership.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna pay for a private trainer, or you're gonna pay the doctor.
Yeah.
But you're gonna pay.
You're gonna pay somebody.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it. You're gonna pay somebody, but who do you want to pay?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're gonna pay. Um, One, it requires some work. You have to put some effort into it, or you can take the easy way out, the unhealthy route. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's unhealthy. Um, Pay the doctor. Pay for
Mm-hmm.
medications. You don't gotta put effort into it, but you're still gonna pay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Maybe not just with money, but with time also, because you gotta commit some time to working out, to eating
Yeah.
right, to cooking right,
Mm-hmm.
meal preps for the week, compared to just doctor visits. Oh, you need this medication now.
Taking time off of work.
Yep.
Yeah, to
Mhm.
go to the doctor, because doctors are only open 8 to 5,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
gotta take some time off of work. Take some time off to go to a physical therapist if you are injured.
Or just falling.
And
Like
yeah.
you fall and you can't get up. Come on,
Yeah.
man. Like you can't kind of do kind
Mhm.
of like a burpee step up to get
Yeah.
up, or just inchworm your way back up.
Yeah.
And that's something I really focused a lot with my older personal clients, my parents included. Get up from the floor. Like you
Mhm.
gotta get up. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You don't
Uh,
have to do all these complex. You don't have to clean and jerk.
No, you don't have to do the
Right.
complex movements.
Right.
Yeah.
But just a simple air squat.
Mm-hmm.
is going to be very beneficial to
Yeah.
you once you get older. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're training those muscles that you use every day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're sitting on a desk all day, or if you're sitting on the sofa all day, in your free time, because, if you're tired, what do? You go to work, come home,
And that's
and
it.
then you're on the sofa
Yeah.
or you're in bed. And like, if that's all you're doing, well, I mean, your muscles are deteriorating over time,
Yep.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be a lot harder to do these things that were, yeah, easy when you were younger and that's all you were doing,
Yeah.
right? Or having a bad diet. But as you get older, that diet is going to catch up with you.
Yep.
And some people are just naturally skinny, but that doesn't mean that they can't have, elevated blood pressure, elevated cholesterol, heart disease. That's
Yeah.
still prevalent in all kinds of people. Of course, if you're,
I feel like it's very common here in the valley.
yeah,
Very, very common. Diabetes and high blood pressure.
yeah. Oh, that also goes into weight, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, weight, and then just kind of like unhealthy eating habits, which is also like unhealthy lifestyles, right? Like I said, we're talking about lifestyles. Like diet is a big part of CrossFit, right? That's still a component that people don't like think about. Okay, yeah, let me go ahead and like lift weights,
Yeah.
but diet is also just as important,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Like you can see a big difference in just diet. If you don't work out and all you do is watch what you eat, you're gonna be able to maintain some kind of health, right?
Yeah, easily.
You're not gonna have those extra calories, extra sugar, extra fat to gain weight. You're still not training your muscles,
Yeah.
but you are going to be healthier than someone who eats bad and doesn't work out. So if
Yeah.
you don't work out and eat healthy, you're going to be a little bit healthier. But if you eat healthy and you work out, I mean, it's going to be like a game changer for you, like
Yep.
when you get
Yep.
older.
Yep. Nicole, do you have a certain diet that you recommend? Because there's like the keto, the paleo,
Yes.
uh, the what else is there? Pescatarian. That's a
Pescatarian,
pricey one. I looked
vegetarian,
into that.
vegan.
That's
Yeah,
pricey.
yeah, yeah. I mean, for me,
Personally, I'm a paleo guy.
yeah, I do just servings of recommended servings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have so much protein, so much fat, so much carbs. That's it. That's how I eat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I eat.
Are you super strict for food?
I used to be. I used
Because
to
I'm not.
calorie count.
Yeah.
But then I figured out like what the good foods were for me and what the bad foods were for me, and I kind of just I figured out, okay, if I eat this much, protein throughout the day, that's going to meet my protein intake.
Yeah.
So I do measure my food. I don't calorie count. So like I will eat like for, let's say, lunch, I'll measure 4 ounces of protein. I'll measure what a serving size is. I go by serving size.
Oh, like
So
actually.
yeah. So I look at nutrition labels. That's very important, right?
That's very important. People just seem to ignore that.
2 ounces of pasta is like 170 calories and like
Yeah.
I don't even know 30 40 carbs,
That's not a lot of
right?
pasta.
And a serving is like 2 ounces.
Yeah, it's
It's
not a lot of
super
pasta.
small and it's
Yeah.
not a lot, right? But that's what the serving size is. So I go by serving sizes, and that has helped me a lot. So looking at what the recommended intake is, right? Plus serving size, because the recommended intake goes by serving size.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I base my food off.
As much logical that is, I've never done that.
I mean, because
That's so logical,
you're
but I just never
getting
done it.
protein, you're getting enough carbs,
Yeah.
and you're getting veggies,
Yeah.
right? Because I mean, I've looked at your diet. You do a lot of like potatoes and meat, right?
Yeah.
And then veggies.
I-
But what
I-
are your veggies?
It's powdered
Yeah,
veggies, powdered
yeah.
greens, powdered reds, and powdered greens. There we
Yeah.
go. I get it. And then if I need more, I have Animal Pack,
Uh-huh.
the multivitamins. There we go.
I mean,
I'm,
I
I'm
think
not a veggie guy.
eating healthy isn't hard. It's not hard,
not
and it's not
hard, no.
time consuming. Like I said, I don't count calories. I do measure my food only because I don't want to overeat,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because that's also a big thing is eating too much. A lot of us tend to eat and then we just overeat and we're so full like it hurts.
I think, yes, to that. I feel people got used to eating to feel full.
Yes.
And I
And
think that's
super
overeating.
unhealthy.
Yeah, that's overeating. So when I do like nutrition plans, well, I'm not full. I mean, you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to stuff
Yeah.
yourself,
Mm-hmm.
every time. I'm a little hungry.
Drink water.
Well, yeah, drink more water. Eat
Drink
a
water.
banana. No
I
one got fat eating fruit.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't like to drink while I eat. I don't know why. It's just a bad habit. Like it's weird, right?
yeah.
I'll eat my food and maybe take a little sip of like my
Yeah.
drink.
I need to
And then
mix
I'll
it.
drink afterwards. Like
Yeah.
I'll drink, or if like my food's dry, maybe I'll like drink a lot of water. Um, but yeah, if you drink water, that also helps fill you up. If you chew your food right, chew it like all the way. You're spending more time chewing your food than you are like swallowing.
Yeah.
So your brain kind of registers, okay, like
More
I
food.
have, you register more food. Yeah, putting your food on a smaller plate instead of putting it on a bigger
Yes.
plate can also like help you minimize like your portions because then you're not wanting to
You
fill your
just fill up
plate.
the plate. Yeah.
Yeah, we're all guilty of it during Thanksgiving, right? Like you have a big old plate and you just like put like everything on it,
And I never
right?
noticed that, but yes, the
Yeah,
Thanksgiving plates are always really big.
yeah, yeah. But putting on smaller plates, putting your food in multiple bowls or multiple plates. So like if you have a small plate for let's say,
Oh, three big plates.
chicken and rice, and then you have and then you have a small bowl of like veggies. Well, that
Yeah.
kind of helps you also portion your food, but it also helps you minimize like overeating, and it helps you portion out your food a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, and I like that about portioning because it kind of goes to a little bit of the paleo and it goes into
Mm-hmm.
like the CrossFit diet. CrossFit diet, in short, is uh, 1/3 of protein.
Mm-hmm.
Could be fish, meat, eggs, bird, whatever. But 1/3 protein in your on your plate, and then 2/3 fruits and veggies. That's it. Your carbs come from fruits and veggies.
Yeah.
Um, and generally, um, for uh, for your protein size, just about a palm full.
Yeah, there are different ways to measure your
Yeah,
food as well.
yeah.
It's harder. Like I
I
don't
think
do
that's hard
that.
too.
I use a food scale. It's just easier for me. But like I like having to like memorize everything. Of, okay, this is protein. Okay, this is a block of cheese. Like
Yeah, that's hard.
yeah,
Remembering blocks are hard.
yeah. So
Uh,
yeah, or
but
like a handful. Grab a handful, and that's
I'm
a
not gonna grab
serving
a
size.
handful.
Like no, I'm
I'm
not.
not gonna do
Right?
that.
It's
I'm
hard.
sorry, no.
Yeah.
But we've done this for a while. You can kind of guesstimate. Okay, this is too much food
Yes.
at a certain point.
Yeah.
Lately, I admit I have not been doing that. I hurt my ankle, and it's kind of like meh.
Yeah.
Went downhill after that for a bit. But I mean, that's normal.
Mhm.
I'm guilty of it. I'm sure you've been guilty of it.
Mhm.
I have other members. You're doing so good, so good, so good. At one point, you fall off the wagon, and that's completely
Yeah.
normal. Like I just admitted, I myself have been off the wagon for maybe 2 3 weeks already,
Mhm.
and I'm enjoying it.
And that's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's totally okay. Like
Because
it's a lifestyle. Like I said, it's not like a
it's
diet. It's not
it's
a
a marathon.
plan.
Yeah.
If you try and limit yourself into following only a diet, it's gonna be so hard to actually stay on track, right? Because
Mm.
you're this age, you can't follow that for the rest of your life. Like it's
And that's what
really
pisses me
hard.
off about crash diets. They just want to restrict everything.
Fads.
Yeah, like those
Yeah.
fad
Let me
diets.
juice. Let me.
Let me
Yeah.
juice for a week. Let me detox.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
it's a
That
cleanse. Like,
doesn't work. I'm
no,
sorry.
like your liver does a lot of the
Yeah,
detox for you. Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
Just drink water.
plus, like drinking juice all the time can be very bad for
Hmm.
you because your body needs to chew your food to
Yes,
get
I just
those
learned that.
digestive enzymes. And if you're not chewing your food and you're just swallowing like juice all the time, like you're actually not
Intaking.
absorbing
Yeah,
any of those nutrients that are in the fruits and veggies in the juice. So like your body goes through a digestive process, right? So as it goes through your colon, water is taken out, and if you're not digesting anything, if you don't have any solid food, there's nothing for your colon to absorb.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I literally just learned that this year. I've been doing this for over a decade, and I just learned that solid foods have a different calorie, like nutritional
Mm-hmm.
information, compared to liquid foods.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what I was looking at. I was using the RP Diet app. Um, the Renaissance
I've heard
Period.
about that.
Yeah, the
Okay.
RP
Mm-hmm.
Diet is a really great app to track your food and give you, how much to eat. And you just put, and I forgot what I looked up a banana. And it
Mm-hmm.
had a regular banana and blended banana.
That's so weird.
And I looked at it and it was different.
Uh-huh.
It was different.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know that. And I looked a little
That's so
more
weird.
into it. That yeah,
Yeah.
liquid foods have less nutrition
Yeah.
than the solid
Hmm.
foods.
Back when I was
Yeah,
like when I was calorie counting, I was using the my fitness pal,
yeah, very
and
famous.
sometimes it would say like fluid ounce, and I'm like, no, we're not going to use that. I would go to, I like, first
No,
off, like I don't even like, it's not a fluid, it's a solid food,
yeah,
but it's why are you trying to recognize it as a fluid
yeah,
ounce? So
no,
it's like, so I would just like, okay, let me look for another item to use.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, just yeah, diets, fads, like they don't work.
Please don't do that. Yeah.
They're not sustainable.
It upsets me when people say, "Why I lost so much pounds?
Yeah.
This many pounds on the juice diet." Well, yeah, you're not eating.
Yeah, a
You're
lot
not
of it
eating.
is just like
I bet you're not
liquid
strong. I
too.
bet you don't feel
Yeah,
good either.
yeah.
Yeah, you're not intaking the right protein. You're not
Hmm.
intaking the right carbs. Your hormones are probably whack because you're
Hmm.
not taking any fats in.
I can't imagine having energy
Yeah,
from like eating
you
like
can't
that.
have energy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're not gonna have energy. I can
Hmm.
probably still run a mile. You probably can after
Yeah.
taking so much juice. Um, but here comes the real question, Nicole.
Hmm.
What you come from sports recovery,
Hmm.
all right? What are your thoughts on rice? For those who don't know what rice are,
Yes.
and I might be completely wrong. Rest, ice,
Uh huh.
compress,
Yes.
elevate,
Yes.
rice.
Yes. Yeah.
What are your
Hmm.
thoughts on that? I'm just gonna say right now, I'm against rice wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
And then Binda, who works in
Uh
healthcare,
huh.
she's studying to be an NP right
Uh
now.
huh.
She's a whole proponent of rice, and
Yes.
we're so opposite on that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
busted my
Yeah.
ankle. No, you
Hmm.
gotta wrap it up. You gotta all this
Hmm.
stuff. Woman, leave me be.
Yes.
And look, I'm walking.
Yeah. Yeah. No, there is definitely like if you go to, let's say, a sports medicine doctor or like a physical therapist, versus just like a family physician, there's going to be different views. Usually a physician, that's what they teach you. Rice, or even price, which is protect, you're adding the p, protect, which is
Oh,
wrap or use some kind of brace or crutches. You're protecting the area, but it can actually hinder some of your healing because you don't want to just completely remove all types of
no,
activity,
you have to move.
right? You
Movement is
still, yeah,
medicine.
movement is
Yeah,
medicine to an extent for sure, right? Because something's broken, you're obviously not going to move it,
yeah, of course.
right? But if you let's say you sprain your ankle, like how you did, protecting it, resting it for at least a day is going to be completely fine, right?
That was too
First
much for me.
thing, yeah.
That was too much.
First
I
thing,
walked out of
like
that.
as someone who's in like as someone who is a healthcare professional, um, first thing we look at is, okay, what are your pain levels like? Can you walk? Can you ambulate normally?
What does
Is
ambulate mean?
there walk
Oh,
basically? Yeah, can you ambulate, right? Or move? Um, your pain, ambulation, swelling, right? If your ankle is swollen, you're obviously not going to have any kind of movement because all that swelling is not going to allow you to. It's basically going to push up against your joint
yeah.
space, right? It's going to encapsulate, your joint, or fill like your joint space, and then you're not going to be able to move, right? So pain, swelling, ambulation. Those are kind of the things that I like to look at. If it's not painful to move it, if it feels okay, and you have some pain but it's tolerable, well then move it, right?
Yeah.
If you just stop all movement, like your joint is going to be so stiff, your muscles are going to become
Ligaments and tendons too, just
stiff.
stiffen
Yeah,
up.
they
Yeah.
become obviously there's like if you have like a severe sprain where you're like a grade 2 to 3 sprain.
What does that mean? How many
uh,
grades are there?
Usually three, depending. If you're just having like a sprain or a strain, usually three. So, grade one is like you can like it sounds bad, right? But tear
Yes, yes, of course.
muscle or like ligament, about 25%. Grade two is about 50%. Grade three is like 75 to like a full rupture of like muscle or tendon. So with that, there is a different protocol. Okay, yes, let's protect it. Let's put you in a brace. Let's put you in a cast. Or even not usually cast, right? If you just have like a strain, usually it's just some type of brace,
Yeah.
or splint, because you want to allow those fibers to heal again, right? They want to,
Mm-hmm.
they need to heal, they need to come back. Um, and then you go into movement, right? But if it's just something that you can move and those three components aren't like severe, then yes, move. Because you're going to
Yeah.
end up being more stiff, you're going to lose mobility. The studies have shown that the faster you start moving again, the better or the quicker that you can heal,
Yeah.
because you're allowing the, like, you're pushing some of that swelling out, you're keeping those muscles nice and warm and stretched, and even ice, right? So rest, we don't want to completely rest. We still want to kind of go about our day and do what we can, right, with modifications if needed. Ice can also slow down healing. So I only say ice if something is like really, really painful or just really, really achy, because I ice too. Like my knees, sometimes I feel like I have a little bit of like patellar tendonitis where my knees just feel like they're just achy. I don't really deal with that anymore. I did a long time ago.
You know what?
So I would ice.
I never ice.
Right.
Ever.
Really?
Ever ice. I don't know. I don't feel ice works for me.
You just push through.
I just push through. Or you know what? What I really do like is that little gel.
Oh yeah,
What's it called?
like a biofreeze
There
or
we
like
go.
an icy
Biofreeze.
hot
Yeah.
or like a tiger balm. Yeah, that's good
For,
too.
for me, biofreeze is the bee's knees.
Yes.
I
That is like that
biofreeze
provides like an
everything.
analgesic effect.
Yep.
So it like soothes the muscle, it soothes the joint.
I'd rather do that than
Yeah,
ice it.
and that's really good too, because you're still allowing your pain levels to kind of decrease, but you're not stiffening the muscle or
Yeah.
the joint, because
Yeah.
ice, that's what it does. Like it can decrease your pain, but it also, like, you'll feel more stiff like immediately afterwards, right? Obviously, like after the kind of coldness wears off and you can move again, it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna be able to move right after. And inflammation isn't a bad thing. People look at, okay, inflammation, because we're taught, okay, inflammation is bad. It's not a bad thing.
I've heard that a
You
lot.
need inflammation to heal, right? Excess inflammation can be bad, or you can get what they call pitted edema, which is just inflammation and like
Is that the same as a hematoma?
no,
No,
a
what's the
hematoma is like a
difference?
bruise.
Oh, like a big bruise, right? I've seen the hematomas here.
Yeah, it's like a like blood,
Yeah, that's
like blood.
gross.
Yeah.
What's a pitedema?
Pitted edema.
Pitedema.
That's like swelling that will not like move from that area.
Oh,
So
shit.
we actually saw it twice last year while I was working.
Yeah.
And people had ankle sprains and swelling just did not like it was not
It's not
leaving
going
the
away.
area, right?
That's dangerous.
But yeah, you want movement is
Yeah.
necessary. And I mean, sometimes, because I work with the school district, sometimes, people or like the kids, like they hurt themselves, but they don't come to us right away. They'll like think, okay, I'm just going to do my own thing. I'll go to the doctor. And a lot of times doctors say, just rest. Right. So
I
they'll
think that's
go
them
to the
washing their
doctor.
hands.
Yeah. They'll go to the
Yeah.
doctor first, and then we won't hear from them. They'll come in like a week or two later. Hey, so my ankle's still really swollen. And like, what do I do? It still really hurts. We're like, oh man, like just see pitted edema. Like, so if you push against the swelling, it will leave a pit. Like it will literally leave a pit
Yeah,
in there,
that's
because yeah, like it's just in that space.
Yeah.
So that's where we'll need to like kind of start doing like some soft tissue
So
work.
what do you do in those cases? Really just rub it out?
Yeah, it takes
That's
time
it?
for it to go away,
Does
but
it
it
hurt?
helps. Yes, yeah, it's painful, right? So
I've
that's
never
like,
had that.
yeah, no, it's.
No, I just heal
I
myself.
feel like it's not super common, because a lot of times we kind of just like try and move when we can, but it's when doctors say don't move, like restrict it, like,
Yeah.
So that's
For me, I not recommend it, but for me myself, I'm always I have to move.
yeah,
I even something hurts. I don't know, my hip hurts. I'm still gonna squat.
yeah,
Maybe not as heavy.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna squat. Say my shoulder hurts. My
Mm-hmm.
elbow hurt. My elbow hurts right now. I feel like I have like I guess a tendonitis on the backside.
Mm-hmm.
Not here as usual. I'm still gonna shoulder press.
and that's where you can modify your movements though, okay? Because you
Yes.
know your own body, right? You
Yep.
know your own body, and if something hurts, well then don't do that. It's like when some like people come to us, well, it hurts when I do this.
Well, don't do
Oh,
that.
don't do that. Right? Well, don't do that, and then you'll be fine.
Yeah, right.
No, like you want to modify activity
I get that so
where
much.
yeah. Well,
Here,
just
I
don't
get
do
that so
that.
much.
Right? They're like, it hurts
Yeah.
when I do
When
this.
I literally, I'm sorry, George. George does this. It hurts when I do. Well, don't do that.
What are you having to do in your daily life where you're having to jerk your arm backwards, right?
I don't know. It's funny. It's funny.
Yeah. But
But
yeah,
yes.
modifying activity, right? If you
Yeah.
don't know how to modify, well, just ask. There's coaches, are always they can always help you out. They know tons of modifications, right? So if something bothers you, modify it to where you can still move, but you're not stuck doing nothing and just not moving like
Yeah.
anything, right? Because if your shoulder hurts or your wrist hurts, well, let me just not go to the gym.
Let me just ignore shoulders.
Yeah, but then you're not doing like legs, or you're not working
Yeah,
on.
you can definitely
you
always,
can you can do jump stuff, right? You can do
Yeah,
box jumps,
shout out
right?
to
Maybe not
Adi.
burpees. Yeah, Adi actually.
Adi, she had to
shout
get
out Adi.
shout out to Adi. She had to get wrist surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Something tore or
Broke.
something broke, where she
Yeah,
had to actually get surgery in her wrist.
Mm-hmm.
So she actually could not use her left arm.
Yeah.
But again, shout out to Adi. She was still coming in every day.
Mm-hmm.
We would have to substitute anything that was upper body.
Yeah.
Would just be some cardio or legs.
Mm-hmm.
So she did a lot of cardio and legs.
And she was really good about, okay, let me not push this, or
Yeah.
let me try
Let me
try
try
and push
something.
what I
Yeah.
can. Let me try it, right? Once the doctor cleared her for certain things, let me try it, see how it feels. And then she would just keep on going and going from there, right?
I think Adi went about it perfectly.
Yeah.
She really did go
Because she
about,
was like, well,
"Hey,
you know
right,
what? I'm
let me
not gonna let
try
this
it."
stop me. I'm gonna keep on going. I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna reach my goals that I have set for myself. And
Yeah.
like, now she's had her own goals post surgical, which is awesome, because now she's, I think, a year already, or more than a year, post surgical, and I mean
She's back at it.
she's come back stronger at some things,
Yes,
right?
yep.
I mean, you can work on things that maybe you wouldn't want to, or maybe not think about. Like, she had a lot of time to work on, let's say, like the bike. Now the bike, like, she loves the bike.
Yeah, she's really
Right?
good
She
at
loves
the
the
bike.
bike, and now she's really good at it, because she was able to, even with one wrist, not being able to like grip and pull as much.
She was doing it with one
She
arm.
could still, yeah, she was doing it with one arm. Like, it's about finding those modifications,
Yeah.
and like, don't feel like you're a burden.
Yeah.
Right? Coaches will modify where needed.
I
right?
rather you come to class and I have to modify
Yeah.
the whole workout
Yeah,
if
yeah.
I need to, then you just not show up.
Yeah.
And I feel that's with any coach, really. Go any other gym, not just here. I believe a coach would honestly, let's say you can't do the whole workout. Hey, man, I'm just going to make another workout for you. And that's it. It takes like a minute to come up with something. Maybe the stimulus is different. Maybe the
Yeah.
stimulus is heavy shoulders that day, but you can't. Okay, well, stimulus is heavy quads for you. I'd rather do that than just not see
Yeah,
you
I
for
mean,
like
because
2
like
months.
I said, tons of workouts.
Yes.
Tons of modifications.
Been in this for a
so, like,
long
it's not,
time.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
not a burden. It's
I remember a workout I did last week. Oh, this might be good for you. A workout I did last year. This is the perfect workout for you. It sucked. I hated it. Now you're going to learn what it is. So talking about CrossFit and injuries, what do you feel is the most prevalent injuries in CrossFit? So Kinesthetic Sports Recovery is located inside Deepwater CrossFit. So I presume you get a lot of CrossFit customers.
Yeah, I do.
What would you say is the most prevalent? And how to fix
Honestly,
that? Or avoid it?
there's always a variety of kind of things. I wouldn't say that one thing sticks out. I think more of maybe like joint muscular kind of stuff, right? Musculoskeletal.
Would you say shoulders?
Shoulders. I have had a lot of shoulders, actually. Yeah.
Why do you
lot
think
of shoulders.
Do you think we don't stretch shoulders enough or warm them up enough? Or maybe just that it's so delicate that so many things are in the shoulder that we're not doing
I
it?
think there's a component sometimes of like people tending to like overtrain on some things, or like if you're new to something and then wanting to like progress too fast, that can also be an issue. Kind of going. There's something that I told Chris. Oh, going beyond my means.
Oh.
Going beyond. I never go beyond my means.
Yeah.
So like if I feel like I can't do something, or I'm not strong enough to do that, a lot of times like I won't do it. You know, it's always good to have like coaches who can push you, but also coaches who know how to like reel you in and say, you know what, you're
Chill.
just not ready for that.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
chill.
need to chill. Or even with the weights, sometimes it's just kind of freak accidents where maybe we're just having
That's what happened Friday.
yeah, maybe we're just having a bad day and like we feel like really tired. We didn't get enough sleep last night. We're not eating good. Those are all actually very important in recovery and your training, because if you're not eating enough, you're definitely not going to be able to lift as much as you did the day before or last week,
You're
right?
gonna,
You need
yeah.
energy. Food is fuel, right? People tend to forget that. You know, starving yourself isn't going to help you lose weight. It's going to
No.
hinder you.
Yep.
It's going to hinder you a lot because you're
You just
not
have no
able
energy.
to, yeah, you
Yeah.
have no energy to do
Yep.
anything. So you're not getting like that, like output,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So those are kind of big things. You know, you can only do so much in
Yeah.
like an hour, right? So we do what we can here in class, and then I'm sorry, but you have to set aside time to do like stretching and stuff on your own, right? Sometimes it's really hard to find the time, but you know,
You
come
make
to
time.
class early. Yeah, you have to make time. You know, stretching can only take maybe like if you have time, even a little bit time after class, stretch for like 10 minutes. If you don't have time after class, before bed, you know, stretching before bed, 10 minutes. That's really all you need, and it doesn't have to be like a super deep stretch.
Yeah.
You really only want to do deep static stretches after a workout, after your body's already warm. But still, doing some kind of like light stretching is going to be good for your bones, your muscles, your joints, right? And it's going to help you work on like your flexibility, mobility, and you'll feel better.
Yeah.
You'll feel better. Get a foam roller. Get a foam roller. Do some foam rolling.
That helps.
Yeah, I get here early, and I'll sometimes like roll out, or I will use like a lacrosse ball and like roll out like different areas, kind of like a trigger point massage. Um, and that helps me feel like my muscles are like kind of prepped to start
Yeah.
like going into different things. So if you're not recovering very well and you're here training, thinking that you can do something that you did before, right? Oh yeah, I've done it before. I'm gonna go ahead and try it again. That's when you get injured, right?
Yeah.
Not paying attention to your recovery.
And real quick, sorry to
No,
interrupt,
no, no.
but same thing. Like, I guess also a lack of knowledge
Yeah.
on how to stretch. I know. Okay. Yes. Toe touches. Okay. You know how to stretch out your shoulders.
Yeah.
You know how to stretch out your upper back. You know, it might be that too. And this goes to anybody. Like, don't be scared to ask your coaches how to use a foam roller. How do we use a lacrosse ball? You know, I didn't know how to use a lacrosse ball. I just put it on the floor and I laid on it. Okay, but like I wasn't really doing much. Same thing with the foam roller. Oh, this kind of hurts,
Yeah.
but it's supposed to
It's
hurt.
it's supposed to hurt. Yeah,
But I didn't.
it's gonna hurt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know it was supposed to hurt. So I only put it in the certain spots that felt good. But then the coach told me no, like some things are gonna hurt. Like for
Yeah,
me, my
like
quads.
quads are
Quads
always the
always hurt.
worst. They're
Yes,
always the worst.
but you gotta roll it
It's so
out.
I don't know why it's such a sensitive area to like roll out. Your femurs, just like your like muscles, just like I don't know,
It
like
gets a lot of
yeah,
weight.
it is.
A
Yeah,
lot
it's
of
a lot
weight
of
on
weight.
it too.
Yeah, it's tender.
And like that goes to like I said, everybody don't be scared to ask your coaches.
Yeah,
How do I stretch this muscle out? You know what, this muscle's hurting me. How do I stretch it out? And I think that leads to it, like just lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
Maybe they do want to stretch.
yeah. And as you get older, it's also so much harder. Like it's harder
Yeah.
to get into like those good habits, right? But it's also like you lose flexibility like the older you get.
Yep.
If you are training every day and you never stretch, you're putting your muscles in positions where you're putting like extra stress in certain areas of your body. Like if I'm my pecs are really tight, right? I'm here in this position and I'm trying to do overhead stuff. You're gonna stress out like the front of your shoulder. You're gonna stress out something, and you're gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've seen people super tight. They can't extend their
Or
arm.
you're forcing movements.
Yes,
Yeah,
forcing
yeah.
movements. Like I was saying, like there's people who are so tight who can't straighten out their arm. This is it. This is as
Yeah.
far as they go.
Well,
And
how
like,
you can
bro,
snatch like
yeah,
that?
yeah, you need a lot
can't
more to go.
snatch like that.
Yeah,
Like the
that-
bar is gonna fall on your head.
Like I see
because
that
you need like certain like
mobility, a lot of
certain
stretch.
mobility, but
All
you
this
also
needs to
need
be
certain what do you call it? Like I don't know how. Like, how to-
pizzazz.
you need to be able to contract certain parts to be able to like have a like finished position.
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, that didn't make any sense. Like,
No, no, no. I
no.
get it.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah,
no.
yeah.
You need to know. You need to be flexible enough to like loosen up, because people are super tight here
Yes.
specifically to
Yeah.
go on the snatch, and then when they do like an overhead squat, it's so tight the bar just falls forward.
Yeah.
Even if they go all the way to the end of the
Or
bar.
stable. There you go. Like you're not gonna be able to hold that like stable position,
Yeah.
right? The bar's gonna be shaking. It's
You're
gonna want to
muscling.
fall on your head. You have to muscle it.
Yeah.
And yeah, like that's very dangerous. Like you're gonna get hurt. Yeah. Like I said, that goes into like having strong like fundamentals, right? So don't go beyond your means, right?
Yes.
It's okay to
Yes.
push yourself. You know, if you say like, you know what, I'm gonna go for these extra calories on the bike, or I'm gonna go for a little bit of extra weight. If you can do it at a lighter weight and have no issues, by all means progress. But if you don't even have good form with a lighter weight and you're wanting to add heavy weight, don't do it. Like doing certain lifts, adding too much weight, and your form looks like crap, like you're gonna hurt yourself.
And if a coach tells you don't, please don't do it.
Yeah, yeah,
I've told several people, hey man, like you're struggling at this weight, and I see you adding weight. Please don't do that.
yeah,
But I'm telling you, as for your own
yeah,
safety, please don't do that.
yeah, yeah.
Let's take it off. I'd rather you do this weight right than add some weight and just, I don't know, maybe it's
Yeah.
maybe
Or
I see.
if you know it doesn't feel good, like you
Yes.
know what, I'm doing these snatches, but something in my shoulder kind of really hurts. But screw it, I'm gonna do it anyway, and I'm just gonna muscle it up.
Yeah.
No,
I feel like that's
no.
very common with men.
Yeah.
It's like a real ego thing with men. We want to lift a lot of weight because it's very rare I have that issue with my female teammates. But when
Usually we tend to like, need more pushing.
yeah,
You're like, you can do
yeah,
that. Add more weight. Add more
I need
weight.
to push my female teammates more, and I need to pull back my male teammates.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think it's just a male thing, an ego thing. I want to lift heavy. You know,
Yeah.
I see that guy lifting 2 plates.
Yeah.
I want to lift 2 plates.
But if you think about it, if you have a strong base, you're gonna lift those heavy weights like no problem.
Yes.
Right. But if you're struggling to progress and you're struggling to even add like 5 pounds on the lift and you just can't get it,
Yeah.
there's a problem in the fundamentals of your movement.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
something isn't looking right, your form isn't right. You know, sometimes okay, maybe we just need to get a little stronger, get used to the movement, work
Yeah.
on just doing it until we're able to get strong enough to add weight. But if you're struggling and something is hurting, like that's a sign to stop. If something is bothering you, that's your body telling you that you need to stop,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I see it a lot with squats. They don't go low enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. They quarter squat it. Oh, I can do more weight.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, bro.
Oh,
Whoa,
yeah,
bro.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Well, you're not even like breaking parallel.
You're not even that parallel.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you're adding more weight.
Yeah.
Bro, let's take some weight off. Let's go
Yeah.
lower. Well, it's because I start leaning over too much.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a fundamental
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Keep
Something's
that
wrong
chest
in your
upright.
form.
Yeah, keep
Mhm.
that chest upright. Stretch out the muscles. You're
Yeah.
growing your hamstrings, your mid back for maintaining that position.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, if that's your position where you're leaning forward,
Yeah.
you want to
Like a
add
good
more
morning,
weight,
yeah.
that's a problem.
Bro, please,
Right?
listen to me.
Work on your form first. Make sure that every rep looks the same, and then work on that.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Yeah.
if your form is starting to decline, and you're still trying to add more weight, like that's when you need to like reel it in and
Yeah.
you need to pull back because you're gonna hurt yourself. So I think that's where I see most of the injuries.
It keeps you in
Yeah.
business. Right there.
Right. That's I think where I see most of the injuries. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
and sometimes it's like I said, it just happens. Maybe we're tight in some areas, so we need to loosen up. We just are, we're trying to do something and we're just like really tired.
Yeah.
But then also wanting to like ego lift.
Yeah, I think ego lift. Well, Nicole, I think we're going to wrap it up here. Do you have anything
Yeah.
else to say? Do you want to shamelessly plug your business, socials?
Yeah, okay. Kinesthetic Sports Recovery is the name of my business. It sounds like a mouthful, kinesthetic, right? But there is a meaning behind it, I promise you.
Yeah. What is the meaning behind
And
it?
so kinesthetic means like your awareness of like your body in space, right? So I thought, okay, well, if you're aware of your body in space, maybe you can be aware of when your body needs recovery.
Yeah,
Right.
I
So
love it.
kinesthetic sports recovery. So aware, like having the awareness of your body needing recovery, because you do need recovery, and sometimes stretching and rolling on your own can only do so much, right? So if
Yeah.
you just need a little bit of something extra, it's kind of where I come in. I do therapeutic massage, I do scraping, I do cupping therapy, and I do kinesio tape application. Did I say stretching? I
Yeah.
do stretching. Yeah, right.
It hurts.
Right. But I
It's much
have
needed though.
yeah.
It hurts, but it's much needed.
Yes,
Yeah.
like I said, I'm a certified athletic trainer, so I've been working with athletes for a long time. But we're not just for athletes. We do, we're helping everybody, anybody, everybody who has any kind of problems. I've seen a lot of it. I've
Yeah.
worked with people in offices, people who like to do, a lot of running, a lot of different activities. I have. I have a little bit more knowledge, I would say, than just your typical massage therapist. Um, we do a lot of of rehab and stuff, but with kinesthetic sports recovery, we focus mainly on just the recovery aspect. So yeah, that's what kind of where I've been. We've been open for 2 years inside of Deepwater CrossFit, and it's been fun. Like I do it for fun, honestly, because I have a full-time job. I work 55 hours a week,
Yeah.
right? But for me, it's fun. I have a passion for helping people, and I think it translates into my business. I want to, I want someone to be able to do things to their max ability.
Yeah.
So if you're having pain and you're tired of being in pain and you just can't figure out why you're in pain, or something just doesn't feel right, you think you might have an injury, come see us. We'll check you out. We usually do an evaluation first, and then we'll kind of talk about a treatment plan and kind of go from there. And then we also do educational aspect where we'll talk about like at home maintenance, what maybe could have caused your pain,
Yeah.
or where you can add in recovery for yourself. Like I said, making sure that you're getting enough sleep, you're eating right, and you're working on your own mobility,
Yeah.
stretching, foam rolling, all that. So yeah.
And if someone does need help, how can they contact you?
I have Instagram page, Kinesthetic Sports Recovery. Pretty much just search that on Instagram. I have a Facebook also,
Can
Facebook page.
Can they just show up, or they need to make an appointment?
Appointment only. Yeah,
Okay.
we
So
only take
they have to
appointments.
contact
Yes,
you
like I said,
first.
I have a full-time job, so I'm only here at the office for appointments.
Okay.
Yeah, because I have I work out on my own. I do stuff in my free time too. So if I don't have an appointment, I'm not gonna just be hanging around
Yeah.
waiting for somebody. So appointment
Just
based
chilling,
only.
chilling hard.
Yeah, look me up on Facebook. Look me up on Instagram. And you can DM me. I have a link to our scheduling page where you can go there if you want to just schedule off there. I do have usually some outside hours from what's usually on the schedule. So if you maybe you're looking for a time that's not there, well then just shoot me a direct message and kind of ask me what the schedule is.
Yeah.
Or if you have any questions, because sometimes we do also like to tailor our sessions to whatever someone's feeling. Maybe they don't know what they want. They're just coming in with an issue or an area of concern, and they say, hey, this has been bothering me for this amount of time. What can we do to kind of help me feel better?
Yeah.
Then we can tailor our session to whatever it is we need to do to help you get better.
Yeah.
Right? My thing is I always want to see you leave better than when you came in.
Yeah.
You might not feel 100%. It's impossible to just instantly feel recovered, right? In one session.
I mean, it's crazy that people expect that.
Yeah,
It's
right.
crazy.
Like you're not gonna
bro,
feel
calm
better.
down.
Like
Yeah,
you're
it's
not gonna be 100%.
doesn't work that
right?
way.
Yeah. And so what was I saying?
Tailoring.
Yes,
To people.
tailoring sessions. And but if you also say, hey, you know what, I just want to stretch or I just want some cupping, well then we can just schedule that too. You don't have to you don't have to talk to me if you don't want to. Just look me up on the link and then
Yeah.
schedule from there. Yeah.
Awesome. And again, my name is Coach Mondo from Deepwater CrossFit. You can reach us at here at 3608 North McCall Street, McAllen, Texas 78501, or you can just call or text me 956 342 1333. I personally have gone with Nicole several times before Ironmans, before strongman competitions, CrossFit competitions. She's always helped me out. Um, so hit her up, hit me up. Let's get fit.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks.
you.